Hi, welcome to Prime Recap. Imagine being trapped in a cave infested with hungry crocodiles that will be totally submerged in a few hours. What would you do? Today we will recap the story of the movie, Black Water, Abyss, from 2020. Lost in the middle of the forest, a couple of tourists argue trying to decide which way they should go. The man, angry with his wife for getting them lost, goes alone in the direction he believes to be the right one. The woman, frustrated that her companion does not want to go in the direction she suggested, starts to call him back, but is completely ignored. After a few seconds looking for her husband, she hears a scream and runs towards the sound, but as she gets closer she ends up falling into a hole more than 10 meters high and suffering a compound fracture in her leg. Feeling that immense pain, the woman starts to look around and sees her companion lying beside her already lifeless. Apparently the man had also not seen the hole and ended up falling. While the injured tourist is trying to reach her husband, she notices a strange movement in the water coming towards her, and with no way to escape or defend herself, she is simply devoured alive by a hungry crocodile. A few days after this event we meet a young couple formed by Eric and Jen, who despite their different taste for adventure, always end up exploring together. As their next destination, they arrange with some friends to explore a cave that has just been discovered by Cash, an old acquaintance of Eric's, and along with them, Victor and Yolanda, who are friends of the couple, also decide to participate. After the two couples are reunited, the quartet heads to a town near the forest and find Cash in a bar, where everyone is getting a drunk except Yolanda. Suspicious that her friend, who usually drinks a lot, is drinking only water, Jen asks her about a supposed pregnancy and the girl confirms it. Happy for her friend, but having to keep it a secret because not even her boyfriend knew about the pregnancy, she celebrates and the group takes several pictures together, not imagining that for most of them these would be their last pictures. The next day they drive to the forest, and on the way Victor asks Cash how he found this cave, and the man tells him that he was participating in one of the search parties that was looking for the missing tourist couple. When he found a hole and when he shone the light to see what was down there, he saw that it was a gigantic unexplored cave. Just as Cash finishes telling this story, Yolanda sees some crocodiles on the way and asks him if it wouldn't be dangerous to enter the cave with crocodiles running around. But the man replies by taking out his gun and saying that if any animal attacked them, it would protect the group. Seeing the gun in his friend's hand, Eric takes the pistol from his hand and puts it away in the glove compartment for fear that the imbecile might kill someone. Arriving at the site, Jen's boyfriend checks the weather on his cell phone. Noticing that there is a very large storm approaching, he asks Cash if they wouldn't be hit, but the man reassures them that the cloud is pointing south and that this would divert the rain's path. Believing him, the group begins to prepare their rappelling equipment to climb down the hole into the cave. Here we already have the first sign that they should not trust Cash. As the group is getting ready, the demented man puts on the safety equipment completely wrong, and if it were not for Eric's warning, the man would die on the way down. As soon as they start walking around the place, the group finds some rocks with water leaking through the cracks and are reassured by their guide, who says that it was just seepage caused by the rivers nearby, causing them to continue their exploration normally. But as soon as they enter, from the outside it is possible to see that the huge storm has reached them, so that the water running through the rock was actually rain that was slowly flooding the place. Going deeper and deeper into the cave and passing through very narrow holes that would make anyone with claustrophobia feel sick, they find a beautiful underground lake and celebrate their find, and after the euphoria has passed, the group starts to explore the place and Eric finds another leaking rock, but this time with much more pressure. Worried that this is a sign of a possible flood, the man manages to convince his friends that it is better to get out of there as soon as possible, but as they are crossing the lake towards the exit, a large avalanche of water hits them, greatly increasing the water level of the place. After everyone has recovered and gathered together again, Cash realizes that the flood has taken his backpack and says that they need to get it back, because the car keys were in it and without it would take them days of walking through the forest to reach the nearest town. Eric realizes that even though the whirlpool of water has passed, the level continues to rise higher and higher, and it won't be long before it reaches ceiling height and they drown. To avoid this fate, the man has the idea of going back through the same place they came in, but the rest of the group gets scared because the narrowest part of the way was now totally underwater. To convince the others that it would be safe, the boy is the first to jump into the water and head towards the exit. After seeing Eric taking the initiative, the rest of the people also take courage and enter the water. When the group is walking back to where they came, Victor sees Cash's backpack floating and diverts his path to get it, but when he gets close the man is caught by a huge beast. Seeing their friend being attacked, the group splits up as they get out of the water, thinking that the boy was already doomed because the creature had taken him to the bottom. A few seconds later a body starts to float and they pull it out of the lake, believing that the corpse was Victor's, but on taking a closer look, they realize that the corpse was a woman, in other words, someone else's. Guys, This body they found was actually the body of the tourist who disappeared along with her husband a few days ago. Apparently the predators devoured the man's body and kept his wife's body for their afternoon snack, just macabre. As soon as they realized that the corpse was someone else, Victor emerges once again, trying to free himself from the animal's mouth. Seeing that his friend was still alive, Eric jumps into the water to rescue the boy who was still struggling not to be devoured. Despite almost getting caught, they manage to get out of the water and start giving first aid to the man, who is badly injured. Seeing that the water level wouldn't stop rising and determined to get his friend to the hospital, Eric comes up with a plan. He and Cash must swim back, use the cell phone to trigger the rescue, get the gun that was left in the glove compartment of the car and return to the cave to kill the crazy crocodile. Even though everyone says it would be crazy, Eric insists that this was the only way for them to get out of there alive, because crocodiles are very territorial animals and will not stop until they kill them all. With Eric determined to follow through with his plan, Cash sees no choice but to accompany him. He then pushes the tourist's corpse into the water to attract the predator's attention while the duo head towards the exit as slowly as possible to avoid the vibrations caused by them attracting the animal. Putting the plan into practice, the duo slowly walk towards the passage they used to enter, and with great difficulty because it has large submerged stretches, they finally reach the last hole that gives access to the exit of that place, but they realize that thanks to the current generated by the flood, a large rock has been dragged right to the entrance they used, so that the group can no longer get out through there. As you well know, in animal endangered movies nothing is so bad that it can't get worse. While the duo tries to move the rock, in the submerged lake Victor starts having an asthma attack and needs his asthma pump that unfortunately was with his girlfriend on the other side of the shore many meters away. Knowing that without the object her boyfriend could not stay alive, Yolanda tries to throw it all the way to the other side with all her strength, but it is nowhere near enough and the bomb ends up falling right in the middle of the path. Determined to save her partner, the girl enters the water even at the risk of being devoured and begins to cross it slowly to get the firecracker that was left in the center of the lake and take it to Jen and Victor who are on the other side, but as soon as she reaches the object, the damned crocodile passes right by her side and not to be devoured alive. Even trembling inside, the girl remains totally static. Luckily, the animal passes right by her and takes a bite out of the floating tourist's body, giving Yolanda the break she needed to swim as fast as possible to the shore and save her boyfriend. Shortly after saving him and believing that they will not make it out alive, Victor's girlfriend finally tells him that she is pregnant, leaving him quite emotional. Seeing that it would not be possible to move the rock because it was too heavy, the duo decides to return to join the rest of the group, but in a stretch where they should swim underwater, Eric's leg gets stuck on one of the rocks at the bottom, and while he tries to get free, Cash, who was already on the other side waiting for his friend, sinks down to look for him, and looking around, the man spots the crocodile and then is attacked by the animal, having his body completely devoured. After managing to get loose and reach the other side, Eric looks for his partner, but the only thing he finds is his flashlight floating in the water, and already wondering what had happened, he decides to go back and join the rest of the group. As soon as they are reunited, the man tells the others that the entrance they used was blocked and tells them what happened to Cash. At this moment, Jen begins to feel a breeze and trying to figure out where the wind was coming from. The girl finds a crack in the rock that could be the way out of there. Believing that this was the way that would save them, the woman tells the rest of the group, and Eric and Yolanda volunteer to explore the place. Realizing that if they continued there soon the water would reach them, Victor and Jen, who had been waiting for the other pair to return, decide to go to a higher part of the cave, and even with difficulty because of the man who is badly hurt, the pair enters the water. As soon as they reach a higher point, the crocodile simply jumps out and almost takes Jen's leg, and as she helps the boy up, the animal gives a boost and almost manages to catch the injured man. While the pair are chatting, Victor once again sees Cash's backpack in the water that was holding the car key. Determined to grab it so that they have a quick and safe way out of there, Jen goes to the edge and tries to stretch out as far as possible to be able to reach the bag. Realizing that she would not be able to stretch out far enough, the girl enters the lake, and when she is very close to getting the object, Victor sees the crocodile approaching and alerts her friend, who takes her backpack and desperately tries to get out of the water as fast as possible. In her haste, Jen ends up slipping and hitting her head on the rocks, passing out instantly, realizing that his friend would be eaten as a crocodile's lunch if he didn't do something. Even though Victor is badly hurt, he goes down to try to help her. As he helps the girl to her feet, the animal leaps out of the water and swallows the man, this time tearing him apart without giving him a chance to survive. As soon as the animal has finished devouring Victor, the other pair return to Jen's without having managed to find a way out, and are shocked by the news that yet another of their friends has been devoured by the demented crocodile. While everyone is mourning their loss, Eric notices that in the middle of the lake there is a current pulling the water down, This is a sign that there is a crack in the bottom of the lake that is sucking the water out, working like a drain. As their only options are to stay there until they are devoured or drowned, or to take their chances and get out through this hole, the group decides to try their luck and enters the water as a last attempt to get out of there. And as they swim towards their supposed escape route, Yolanda panics and ends up stirring the water too much, causing the crocodile to notice their presence and start chasing them. As a last heroic act to save the women, Eric stops in the middle of the road and begins to move to lure the beast while he stands with his knife in hand waiting for the creature to come towards him and he can try to kill the beast, giving the girls a chance to escape alive. Passing through the drain and arriving on the other side, the girls go straight to the crocodile's nest where they find a severed hand on the ground and, afraid of being trapped there, Jen and Yolanda hurry to find a way out of there as quickly as possible. As soon as they reach the outside, the women start following the road until they find Cash's car and get into the vehicle. Jen starts driving towards the town thinking they are safe, but halfway there they almost hit a tree that has been blown down by the rain, and to try to avoid it, the girl throws the vehicle to the side, causing them to fall into the swamp they have just come out of. While trying to escape from the car, Jen sees the crocodile approaching and alerts her friend, who desperately tries to get the gun from the glove compartment. After they get the gun, the crocodile attacks the car, causing it to sink and the girls to have to swim to avoid drowning. After they submerge, they still need to get to the shore as fast as possible, because the animal is still after them. When Jen arrives on dry land and looks into the water, she sees Yolanda about to be devoured by the predator, and to save her, the girl rushes into the water and pulls her friend in, but as she helps her, she ends up in the crosshairs of the crocodile, which swallows her while she takes several shots in the direction of the animal, missing most of them. Even with grim precision, the girl manages to hit the beast as it was being attacked, thus managing to kill the creature and get out alive. Safe and sound, Jen and Yolanda hug each other, thrilled to finally be able to leave that cursed place. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.